The thing that led to me to becoming a TO was I went to my first tournament, Scenic City Smash 1 in 2014, and I got in there, and it was the first time that I felt like I was in a room full of people that understood me. Felt like I found my passion, in a way. And so the TO, JT Merrill, I saw him organizing all of it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this guy was able to get all these people in a room, and now they're smiling and laughing and playing this game together. And I thought that was so cool. So I said, I'm going to do that.
It was just kind of like a Call of Duty thing, Like, I experienced TOing for National Valley Smash and like some online tournaments during the pandemic. I feel with that experience, I can give like an additional help to like whether either Ultimate needs help or Melee needs help, I'm pretty flexible and know both games knowledgeably too well. I can help wherever I need to.
The thing that led me to become a TO is that I like meeting new people, and I like being in the scene and helping out.
Is the work and effort worth it? That is a great question. I think the work and effort is always worth it if your heart is really in it, and it's what you love. I think if you want to get into TOing because you want to make money, you're in the wrong industry. If you want to get into TOing because you just want to have a position of power or something, you're doing the wrong thing. But if you genuinely love a game, or if you love what esports is, and you just want to run the best events you can without any ulterior motives, I really think the work and effort is worth it. It's really tough sometimes. It's a thankless job. A lot of times people will blame you for the bad things and they won't even praise you for the successes. But if you love what you're doing, it's always going to be worth it.
Oh, absolutely. Because it's just you meet new people, you meet new players, you get to play with other people. And if we do our jobs right, then more people will come out and play, and we get more players and we get more recognition. So, it all pays off as we make a positive experience for everyone. It doesn't matter which game you're playing, I just want to see people come back and have fun and enjoy playing Smash.
Honestly, yeah. So I meet new people and they keep coming back, and we get some people from out of state and stuff.
If you wanted to run your own event. Yeah, I think a lot of times on the grassroots level, you can get a little creative. I think in the Smash Bros community, they do a really cool thing where they say if you bring your own setup, maybe your GameCube or your Switch and a TV or a monitor, we're going to give you $5 off venue fee. And I think that's a really creative way to source equipment when you're starting out and you don't really have any traction. And then you can also reach out to anybody local. Especially if you're doing something on PC, I think that would be a situation where you might want to maybe reach out to a local equipment shop and say, hey, we want to run some events. Could we use some of your computers or some of your monitors? Really just asking. I think people are a lot more helpful than one might think when you just get out there and you're sincere and you ask questions.
For streaming equipment comes from Max Buddy, and our resources come from our Offbeat. Shout out to Team Charside.
That's a pretty loaded question, because GameCubes are pretty cheap, Wii's are pretty cheap, and even if you Melee discs in and of themselves are kind of rare. So, but if you have a Wii, it's very easy to mod it. I'm not saying anything, but you know what I mean. The only thing that's kind of weird is controllers. You don't need an amazing controller to get good at Melee, but it certainly helps. You can play on a really bad controller and get kind of good, but you're just limiting yourself in the end.
Yeah, it's super helpful to have a team to help you TO, because then you don't have to do everything yourself. Maybe you set up the bracket and you seeded it all and you're like, let's play our matches. And then someone comes up and says, hey, I'm playing my brother. Can you change that? And then maybe someone says, this setup isn't working. And then maybe someone's like, hey, can I go to the bathroom? Or can I be on commentary? And sometimes it just stretches you really thin. So when you have multiple people helping you run the event, it really allows you to take some of that heat off, take the pressure off, and really create something better.
I know for Melee, Noah Devotion, aka Evan Pies, him and I kind of team up together to buy some equipment for the Melee stream. As for Ultimate, shout out to Team Charles Shaw for letting us use our setups. I don't think we were able to have the quality of games and equipment we need to able to stream. So it's just basically how Underground Smash works back in the day, We all took a part of grabbing what equipment we need and making it work.
Yeah, it's pretty hard, especially when there's been like a big major event, because then like you got some people who come in and they've been tested, and there's some people who don't want to come, and we just gotta plan all that out.
You know, we all just work together, you know, and like we gotta work as a team. Cause you know, no one person can do all the seeding. Not all one person can like call matches, you know, and also the stream as well. So you know, it all takes all of us to get the thing going. And it doesn't matter like what you all or which game you're playing, you know. We all, if one goes down, it fixes the other, you know. So we all gotta work together to figure out, you know, how we call opponents, how to get players to call matches on time, and pack up and everything to leave.
Yeah, during COVID, it's been quite difficult to run events, but I don't think the gaming industry has been affected as much as a lot of other industries. If you're planning weddings or planning business meetings, it might be a little bit harder to go online, but with video games, you can kind of just, you know, switch to online. So I'd say it's been tough. You know, you miss everybody, but the transition hasn't been as difficult with gaming events as others.
Oh, it's been difficult. There have been multiple scares, obviously. Multiple times where we have had long discussions about whether we should cancel or not. Yeah. We almost did because everyone knows and loves him, Big Pepsi. He has caught COVID a total of 3 times. And he's vaccinated. He is vaccinated, yep. And he has caught COVID 3 times. I don't know how. And then, yep, he's still kicking and he's still vibing. And the last time he caught it, we had about an hour conversation about if we should cancel. We decided not to because Pepsi wasn't there within the last week or two, so we just decided to keep it going. But it's a scare. It is terrifying.
I hate Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi gets me really upset because I feel like I'm not losing to the person. I feel like I'm losing to the game. It's never fun for me to play Wi-Fi. Any kind of lag on the TV or anything, just like, it's not fun. You know, the Wi-Fi era I think was tolerable, but now that it's back to in-person events, it's really important that it stays that way, and for the health of the game, but also for the sanity of the players.
In person again, it's great because online, not a big fan personally. I like my homie being next to me, and I like making fun of him when I beat him in a playful way because they're my friend, and I would never make fun of someone.
It was pretty hard at first because we didn't know how long the pandemic was going to be, and with Ultimate Online being as bad as it is, you know, we try to make the best we can. But thank God for Fizzy and Slippy because, you know, without it, then like I don't think how Melee could survive COVID, you know. Because of that, all our players are able to get better, and I love to see the growth from now until then, you know.
I think a lot of people mainly just complain about the netcode, which is an awful thing that makes Smash like a lot harder to deal with, like playing with that netcode. But I think a lot of people forget about how the most fun part of going to events is like the interactions you have and like the friends you make and stuff. Like I've got so many friends that I talk to every day that don't play Smash anymore that like I would have never met if it wasn't for Smash. So I think that like offline events, seeing people face to face, having interactions with people is really, really important. Also, Smashers generally like, you know, they're kind of like the nerdier people, you know, so they might not get all those interactions in their daily life. So having a place where they can get them is like pretty important. So.
Oh, extremely important. I was very anti-Wi-Fi. I despised it. I entered a few Wi-Fi tournaments, but I never performed well. There was something about the environment of just being alone at home. A lot of times it actually was more stressful than being in a venue with people like cheering and stuff like that, or being on stream. I honestly enjoy the kind of thrill of having people watch you and sitting next to your opponent and doing stuff, and then being on stream is great too. So I was never a big Wi-Fi player, despite my character. Like, I switched to Steve, who is a very good Wi-Fi character, and even still playing him on Wi-Fi just didn't feel like fulfilling. It didn't feel like I was like accomplishing anything. So being back offline and using a character, especially that was considered like that carries someone on Wi-Fi, and like only bad players play Steve, and being able to do well and get wins with him offline is very fulfilling. So yeah, it's very important for me to be back offline.
I don't know, because I could react to Steve minecart now. I don't know. No. It feels so different. It feels so much better. It feels smooth.
I don't really have a good net play setup. It's very good to be able to play in person because I pretty much didn't play for the entirety of COVID because I had no good way of playing. And like my roommates play, so I play a little bit here and there, but this is the first time in a while that I've actually been able to like say that I actively play Melee.
Playing in a tournament online, you don't meet anyone and you don't really converse other than like, hey, let's go to the stage, good games. That's about it. In person, you either win or you lose, and then 5 minutes later, you're kind of just standing around. You kind of have to talk to that person. So, they're less of just like an obstacle for you to try to defeat and more of a human being in person.
It's pretty sick. Phazer's my first local ever, so I've really kind of gained to experience it for the first time. It was usually like it's always been net play. I'm a Slippy kid, so I've been having a great time. Met all these people, including you guys.
It was very important because Wi-Fi was so bad. I literally could not play Wi-Fi. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just like that slight delay of inputs messes with me personally so much to the point where it's just like I can't play.
I still think online is pretty awesome just because it was what I started with. But it's great. I'm having a good time. It's definitely better. Like on TN Court, I used to complain about CRT being laggy, but it's not.
So during the entire Wi-Fi era, I never entered anything. I only played with like a select few people that I knew for a fact were wired because I was also wired. But even if you're wired, it's still like every now and again it just bugs out or like it just freezes or like it lag spike. There's nothing that tilts me more. But yeah, no. During the Wi-Fi, I never really did anything. I just kind of went in training mode and just played like just level 1 bots and just practiced combos and movement. That's pretty much all I did.
Do I think the Melee scene is growing? I would say so, just because of online definitely made a big difference, so it's more accessible now. It kind of depends on if you know people, I guess, with the hardware, and I think the hardware is probably becoming harder to find, but the online makes it easier, so I don't know. Let's say it is, for sure. I mean, if you look at the numbers, it is, right? At least viewer-wise. So I'm going to say yes. Our weekly right now, though? No.
Yeah, for sure. Especially based on tonight, we had 17 people. Our standard is usually like 10 to 12. Every week is kind of different, but I think it's definitely growing. We're getting a lot more people that stopped over COVID, and they're coming back now. So it's been like a slow growth.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's not only growing in terms of new players coming in, because I have noticed there's a couple of people who started during the net play and Slippy era come in through here and stick around. There's also a lot of people who haven't played in a long time that were like way before my time who are coming back, and I'm seeing them for the first time after having watched VODs and watched matches of all of these like legendary Tennessee players, and I see them in person and I'm like, wow, I saw you in 2015 on a YouTube video.
So I live about 30-ish minutes away. Not a terrible drive. I live in Shelbyville. And I travel here because I love it. I'm one of the TOs. I also commentate the stream. I love doing it. I love seeing everyone be so happy. It's great.
I live about 30, 45 minutes, hour if you include like bad traffic like tonight. And the reason why I come here is because one, I have a ride, and two, I just enjoy the game, enjoy the community, and I just like playing the game.
I used to live like a block away, which is why I made the weekly here, was because I literally lived a block away. And now I live maybe 25 minutes away, but it's an easy drive, and I just really like the location, and the venue's really, really fun. So I literally just come to these like to see friends. Like it's much more about hanging out with people than it is actually playing the game. So that's kind of why I'm here. Not so much the game, but just like seeing everybody and hanging out and stuff.
For a long time now, for whatever reason, Murfreesboro has kind of been like the Middle Tennessee hub, like the Middle Tennessee spot. So I think it's kind of been a natural progression. It's like, when's the next like Murfreesboro tournament? Because our best talent is from here. It's kind of like near Nashville, it's near Cookeville, it's near Franklin. So it's mostly the location for me, but this is like the scene I grew up with. So to be able to do it again, like with that's my preference, you know.
So I live about 10-15 minutes away when I'm living on campus. When I'm living at home, I live about 40-ish minutes away. And I travel here because, I don't know, it's a cool arcade and a cool place, and it has a good environment. And yeah, and I just like coming and competing.
I live 37 minutes away, and I came here because it's the closest one, like, basically.
I think for me, why we chose this venue is that way it's nice environment, you know, friends and family can get together, you know, Melee and Ultimate are together as ones next to each other, so, you know, it's just a nice place where we can all just like hang out, enjoy Smash together.
I could go here, give it a shot, and even if I didn't perform quite as well as I wanted to, I would still come out with a learning experience or with any type of like good day, rather than when I was back home in Tri-State and I would go to a tournament, get completely like curb stomped, and then come home being like, I couldn't even learn from any of that because I was just losing so hard the entire time. I've had some of the most fun I've played here in a really long time, so yeah, it's just a great place, a great environment to come out and play some games in.
You know what's actually one of my favorite moments? I was down 2-0, definitely about to get 3-0'd in the Falcon Ditto versus Moist, and I can hear from the commentary booth someone scream, "Let's go, Mike!" and then I immediately SD.
He set up for a reverse.
Let's go, Mike!
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Dude, so I knew I could shield grab that dash attack, but I just pressed it way too late and I had already fallen off, so I just start falling to my death.
There's a time when me and Brett, you might have interviewed him, played Mario and Luigi versus Brandon and Dave Mon, who were playing like their real characters, Fox and Falcon, and we just like were messing them up, and it was so funny. And I got an awesome clip that's still on Twitch somewhere where I do some like crazy up B combo, and Dave's like, "Oh my God, Jason!" You can hear it on the commentary in the background, and I don't know, it's just an easy one to remember because I have the clip of it.
Let's go, baby!
Do you know J-Linked? It goes by Jose. Okay, well, he was here today. I don't think he's gonna like me telling this story, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. So it was like 2019. It was just a really small local we had with about 12, 13 people. I've always been like a 2-2er or so, and this tournament was a bit more stacked, and I got to winners finals with Jose, and he was up 2-0, and I played Pika at the time, and he was playing Cloud. So I just started matchup cheesing him, got the reverse 3-0, and then like he shook my hand, and then he just pauses, he's just looking down, and then I'm standing up and I just hear a boom, his controller gone behind the TV. So I didn't know how to react. I go and pick up the controller and hand it to him. I just go, like, I literally just go like the Wadi, just hand the controller to him.
My favorite moment at a local, I think it had one of the first things that comes to mind. There was a crew battle a long time ago. It was me and a group of gamers called Squeak Squad, and we were playing against a group of gamers called Squad.
And then me and like the other players were called the Squeak Squad because we were like 15 years old. Toto is in it. We're like brand new players. So we had a crew battle between that. It was they had to play low tiers. We got to play whoever we wanted, and they just crushed our ass.
Is that the one where they sing Linkin Park during it?
Yeah, actually.
And the whole venue was singing Crawling in My Skin by Linkin Park. And I'll never forget how it felt to play the game while they're just singing Linkin Park. It just felt like, you know, not to be cheesy, but it was like, it was funny, but it was also a moment where it felt like coming home. It felt like, you know, I had finally found my community, and we could all be funny and silly in a room together without worrying about judgment. And that was really cool.
Because Ultimate's the only game I'm good at.
I don't know, it's just different. Like, it's different from the other fighting games. And it's like, I don't know, I've been playing it ever since I was a kid. And it's, I don't know, it's just fun.
It's kind of like it's like a sport, like a martial art, you know, like it's infinitely deep. You can always get better. You can always improve yourself. And it's like a personal mental journey the better you get, you know. It's pretty sick.
I keep playing for the people. So I've played like 8 years now, and all the people I've met are, it's hard to make friends when you're like out of school. So it's a very easy way to hang out with people, and I'd say that's probably the biggest reason I keep playing, because I'm obviously not going to win anything anymore with my old hands. Yeah, these brittle hands will break one day, but they haven't yet, so I will continue to come.
It's one of the games, just in general, so far that I've played, like, ever, that I put the most hours in. Like, I just have a shit ton of hours in it, and, I mean, a lot of my friends I've met through the Smash scene and through the Ultimate scene, and I think even with the amount of flaws or, like, jank that it may have, it's just an enjoyable game to watch and play, and I play the character that I've always wanted, who happened to get in, and just playing him brings me joy, and just being able to show up and try my best with him, it makes me happy. So that's a reason for me to keep pushing.
I think that's the most important thing, in my opinion. You can play a game all you want, but if you don't have a group of people to play with or a location to consistently play at, then it's just not quite as fun. That's why I stopped playing League, but it's why I love Smash so much. There's a college dorm at my school where there's just a Switch in the lobby, and we go and we play there almost every day, and it's one of the best things of my day. I think having a community to play around and having a group of people to just get to know through the game, but also just as a group of friends too, is the most important thing.